Okay, Abdul Malik. How you doing?
Alhamdulillah, not so bad. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, very good, mashallah. So, yeah, we spoke, I think we spoke briefly about some of the things you wanted to do. Um, yes, so today I just want to get a bit more understanding on your plan and see where we can go from there. So, in terms of one thing I always say, or one thing I always ask people, what's what lifestyle do you want? When I say that, I don't mean, like, do you want a luxury car? No, I don't mean that. But everybody have in mind, some people have, okay, you know what? I'd love to have a lifestyle whereby I'm living out of the country and I'm still making money, for example,
Exactly
right?
that, exactly
I'd
that.
love to have a lifestyle whereby I'm working because I'm going to work because I want to, not because I have to. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So this is yeah, that's what I mean by what lifestyle. So everybody have a different vision of what lifestyle they would prefer if so. And also based on that, that comes with that what based on whatever lifestyle they want, it comes with some of the things that they will have to need have in place in order to be able to, such as to be able to live this kind of lifestyle, then you need maybe this type of business, then you need that type of business, or you need make this kind of shift, you know. So I think briefly when you and I had a discussion, briefly, you mentioned something to do with something along that line. Anyway, but I think it's for you to actually tell me.
yeah. No, ideally, I would like to live out this country, live out of London, and be able to still have a nice income where I can live comfortably
No,
in
no.
another country. Yeah,
Alhamdulillah.
that's ideally what I would like.
Yeah, and with that itself, obviously, one of the challenges I see people face, um, they people that obviously tend to lot or prefer to live out of the country and still earn. Often they do save money, they leave the country, but then um, when the money run out, they come back, basically, and ideally they'll prefer to continue staying there without having to worry about money or coming back for money. So such as such such a lifestyle will require, especially these day and age anyway, if a person two things, right? One of two things. Either a person have a remote job that allow them to live anywhere. They work for a
Mm.
company that company doesn't mind them living wherever out of the country. Or they have, yeah, meaning they have certain skills that they can, have certain jobs that they can live out of the country and that company don't mind. Or they have a business, right? A particular type of business where they can operate the business virtually, right? Without necessarily needing to be present physically, you know.
Mm.
So obviously with you, what do you have in mind? Is it business or work? If it's business, then we go in the direction of business.
Yeah, business. I'd like to be able to open and run a business from here while living abroad. Obviously, I'd understand I might have to come back, check the business here and there, but ideally run a business where I can hire a few people or however that would work and then just live the lifestyle in another country.
Hmm. Yeah, actually, you'd be surprised actually how many people or how many businesses do get run remotely. Um, some are physical businesses actually. There's a DIY shop in Brixton that I know. I know the owner is not here. I always ask the guy, "Where's your boss?" He said he doesn't live here. He lives in Nigeria, and he's always the guy that you think that's a shop, but he's not.
He just works there.
He just works there. And
That's the all I want.
funny enough, actually, few of the coffee shops locally, a number of actually, a number of physical. 'Cause I had a software whereby I was trying to get local businesses to sign up for this software. And literally, I personally went to some of these local businesses. And often when you go in there, especially coffee shops, the owner is not here. They'll tell you, most of them say the owner never comes here. They said, no, the owner never comes here. They said, yeah, anything to do with email them, but they don't come here. We just work here, you know? Yeah. So you'll be
That's really,
surprised.
that's really
A lot.
doable.
Yeah, it's doable. It's doable, it's doable. The key is having the right system in place, you know. But anyway, talking about a business where you can run virtually, right? You have online business and you have offline business, right? So in terms of you, right, skill set, what are you good at?
I
Like,
don't
what are
know.
some of the things you're good at? Um, because I can say, for example, okay, do drop shipping, do this, do that, do that, do that, do that, right? But often, what I like to do before throwing a person into an area whereby they have to learn a lot, right? Everything requires learning anyway. You always have to look at, okay, what's that person good at? Because maybe there's something that they're good at whereby they can leverage that skill into a virtual business. For
Yeah,
example, I had a call of uh one of my clients yesterday. They've been doing construction pretty much. They don't live in the country, they live out of the country, but they keep coming back, for money. And they've been doing construction, different areas of construction. So they've done surveying, they've done this, they've done site management, but one of the area where they've done the most work is painting, right?
mm,
They've done painting and they've had clients and they've, a few works and so that's the route that they chose to go, open a painting company or painting and decorating company. But they don't want to be in the country. So we put together a system whereby they can actually have that business living abroad without
yeah,
doing any of the work, purely outsourcing it, you know. So, we were able to leverage that skill that he has instead of telling him, oh, why don't you build this? Why don't you go into that? Do you get what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah.
So, is there
Because
anything
studying's not for
in mind
everyone.
that you've been thinking of lately,
So say that again.
business-wise? Is there anything you have in mind that you've been thinking of?
Yeah, at the moment I've got like a cleaning business
Okay,
because that doesn't require too much study and learning. Obviously, like you said,
that's
it still
right.
requires learning, but it's more of a hands-on that kind of job. It's
Okay,
not really, yeah,
yeah. Now that makes sense. Now it's about, okay, how can we run that cleaning business overseas without without necessarily needing to be here, to run it. The
yeah,
early stage,
yeah,
the beginning stage, not to lie, um, I'll say the first year it will be worth being on the ground, you know,
yeah. I understand that.
such a business. It will be worth first year, or even in my saving first year, second year, right? Because to make it, to solidify it,
I heard it
right? To
properly. Yeah,
solidify it, because in the first year, it's about really trying to get clients and establishing your name. Do you get what
yeah,
I'm saying? And often you are the face of the business because your clients are going to meet you and they're going to know you. Do you get what I'm saying? They're going to meet you, they're going to know you, they're going to build a relationship with you because you are the owner. And because of that, they're going to be giving you contracts. Do you get what I'm saying? Not necessarily because of your company. Yeah, they love your company and the work your company is doing, but because of the relationship they've built with you, and they're also going to recommend you. But over
yeah,
time, when you've established your name and you are known, right? People just basically you're needed, they want you more than you want them, basically,
yeah, yeah,
in other words, right? So that's that's what happens. So I'll say the first year, first 2 years, once that's solid, pretty much you're running it overseas because you have managers. Basically, people want to work in your company. People want to work for you rather than you want them to work for them. Do you
yeah,
get what I'm
yeah,
saying? When you get to a certain stage, that's what it becomes. So people want to be a part of it, basically. That way you can have a manager that replaces you, that does everything. You have a solid system and everything. You can run the company overseas without necessarily needing to be, maybe once every few months you might come down and check. Not necessarily to check on the work, because you're never going to check on cleaning work. But
yeah,
you're just going to touch base with your uh your client, just to kind of like put a
Update.
nut on the relationship, Once a
Yeah,
while you
yeah.
come back, you go have a coffee with them and because in case somebody is trying to nurture a new relationship somewhere else to
Yeah,
eventually
yeah,
get a
yeah, yeah, of
contract.
course, yeah.
You know what I mean? So you don't want to disappear for too long whereby I haven't even
Become a
seen
stranger again. Yeah.
that relationship goes weak, you know what I mean? But yeah, okay. So cleaning business. Now, this type of business, I think, yeah, this type of business, right? I have a friend, so I'll give you an example. He actually has a cleaning business and he's been doing it for about 2 to 3 years. I believe it's 2 years. That business now makes about 750K, right? Since he started it. And
Okay.
yeah, the key here, this type of business is getting contracts, right? The key here is getting more contract, being able to get more contract, right? Setting up the business, I think you're gonna need insurance, right? Insurance, the right insurance, register the company. With this type of business, you do want to register the company especially if you want to get contract because you're dealing with landlords and landlords and uh, companies, right?
Mhm.
So if you want people to respect you and take you serious, a registered company, people take you more serious. They know that they're dealing with a company,
Yeah.
as opposed to just dealing with a one-man show. And yeah, I mean, when you register a company again, you're gonna need an address. This could be your house address, but because it's a company, ideally you can use a virtual address. You can actually get a virtual address. I think Tide, when Tide are the system where you can get Tide to set up your company and also get a virtual address from Tide Bank and also plus get a bank account, basically a business bank
That would
account.
be an advice. Get the virtual address and everything through tight.
Yeah, because
That
then you can use their address as your business
business.
address. Or
Yeah,
you
okay.
can, if you type in virtual address, there's few companies out there. There's another company called Company Formation, that you can use them. Smart company formation. You can use their virtual address. I think about I think 100 100 and something a year you pay, or less than that a year you pay. Yeah, smart company. You use the address. Basically, they'll receive your letters for you and they'll send it to your house address. So anyone that
Okay,
sends you
okay.
business letters or any letters or whatever, they will scan it and send it to you or post it to you and you receive it. So then that's one thing. But one thing I'll say, obviously, I'm not a cleaning business specialist. So the best thing, like I always say, is to find somebody that has done that business and is very successful, right? To get them to coach you
And yeah,
instead.
I know the what. I need to know the how.
That's right. This is where
Yeah.
that person comes in, right? So yours, luckily, obviously, I know somebody that actually is successful in that. So inshallah, I will try and connect you to them, inshallah. But assuming if I didn't know somebody, how would we approach this? Right, practically. Um, I'll type on YouTube cleaning business. And often you find that people that actually have created business videos about cleaning business and whatnot. Maybe I'll just search or watch few of their videos and see who's really successful at doing this, right? Whoever has got maybe a lot of followers, you can tell that okay, they're very successful at doing this. That person often they are selling something, right? Maybe they're not saying it out loud, but if you look at their videos, a lot of the time there's a link, and if you click on it, often they either selling a course or a coaching program,
Mhm.
right? If they're selling a course, I wouldn't buy because a course generally is just information, right? And that is not really gonna um, make you successful at doing that business because when you're stuck, you have no one to go to. You know what I mean? Especially as a lot of the time, the little things. This is where people find challenging and they give up because there's no one, to help them with that. But anyone that's set in a coaching program, right? Whereby you have access to them, right? And you can could be a coaching program where maybe they say 90-day coaching program, right? And this coaching program, they're going to teach you how to actually set your cleaning business and get clients from A to Z, right? Not only you're going to follow, so often the coaching program, they have a course, but then not only they have a course showing you how to do it and what, all the things you need in place and exactly how to do it, but also they're making themselves available for you to reach out to them,
Mhm.
when you need stuck, when you get stuck along the way of executing the things that they've showed you to do, right? So sometimes they may have a weekly call or they may have just open, you can reach out to them whenever or wherever. Different people structure it differently, right? That's how I approach it to find a coach, but I wouldn't buy a course.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I wouldn't buy a course
You
because
find that information online, if you do
no,
some
course
due
is just
diligence.
information. You want
Yeah,
someone to actually coach you whereby they can be, they can be there to help you when you need help. So that's how I'll approach it, in finding out a clean business. Or I'll find a cleaning company, local cleaning company that I know they're successful. And literally I'll go to the owner and I'll ask them, you know, directly. I, I'm trying to build one of these business. If I pay, can I pay you so you can mentor me? You can teach me for 6 months. Meaning
yeah.
you be present, you tell me exactly what I need to do and assist me when I need you, or you be there to guide me when I need you. So they'll tell you what you need to do and how you need to do, what you need to have in place, um, how to get clients, Basically you're skipping I don't know how many years of experience that they've had, the mistake that they've made, you know,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
you're
And the
bypassing
money
all
they
of that,
lost.
you know,
Yeah.
basically. So that's the approach I'll take, in getting someone to do this. But yeah, but cleaning business, running the oversea, this is what you have to do. This is what you have to do. And the key in this sort of business, really and truly, is quality. Because if you do a good job, believe me or not, people recommend, right? People will recommend you. This sort of because I had a conversation with my friend. He said that's exactly how he grew. That's exactly
I
how he
don't
grew.
know.
By
Mm,
doing good job, the people they loved it because the person have one property, meaning one big block of flat.
yeah.
Often,
He
they know
knows other
other
people
people
that,
who have. Do you get what I'm saying? It's a
yeah,
circle.
yeah, yeah,
Often they know other people who has, or maybe their family members, or circle owns other blocks of flats. So they just recommend you, you know. And if you do a good job and they like your job, yeah, you just grow by word of mouth and also using different strategies on getting clients, you know. So that's one thing I'll say, with this approach. But these sort of conversation, Abdul Malik, it's nice to have. The key is execution, because often
mhm,
people, they'll do the talking, but when it comes to execution, that's where a lot of people, don't really take action.
yeah.
Because ideas are great and dreams are good, but no execution means nothing.
No,
So
100%.
now what you want to do, you want to set yourself a timeline, right? When I do things, I like to move fast because
Okay,
yeah, because if you delay, you might just, get thrown off a bit. Things come, life gets in the way. Things come, you know what I mean?
okay.
So sometimes it's best to just kind of like just basically use the slogan of Nike, just do it. You know, yeah, just do it. So have you set yourself a timeline in terms of, okay, when you're gonna get things done by, and when do you want that cleaning business up and running by?
I've been going back and forth with ChatGPT, so I have a rough business plan, but because of my lack of knowledge, it's a bit overwhelming and it seems a bit far-fetched
Hmm, 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 hmm.
because it seems because I haven't done this before. I haven't been in this situation before where I wanted to open up a business, or I haven't opened up a business before. It seems a bit far-fetched. It doesn't seem like, I don't know if it's doable. I don't know if it's, but obviously with the right help and I can get in touch with the right people, then hopefully it will be easier and I'll be able to. It will look more realistic. But I do
Okay.
have a bit of a with ChatGPT. I do have a little business plan.
Yeah. I mean, generally with this sort of business is your equipment. You know what I mean? Your cleaning
Yeah.
equipment is what you
Hmm.
need, you know. Because of example, um, do you know the equipment you need?
No.
You don't know the, okay.
Not
Now
exactly.
someone, someone that has a cleaning business will be able to tell you what you need. And
100%.
also it depends on what type of cleaning, you know. Just this is based on my basic knowledge of having a conversation with my friend. Also, it depends on
Hmm.
what type of cleaning. If you're just doing if you're just doing communal cleaning, all right, or if you're doing communal
I
windows.
want to do domestics and commercial. I want to do both.
Yeah. So
That's
yeah, it
the
depends on
plan.
what type of cleaning. If you're
Yeah.
cleaning windows, then obviously you need different equipment as well. If
Of
you're not
course,
cleaning
of course.
windows, and you're just doing this communal cleaning, just cleaning whatever, then I
Yeah.
think it's a different equipment. But I
Hmm.
believe the beginning, everything you do, the beginning, you don't want to make it too complicated. You start from somewhere, right? For example, if someone comes and say, "Oh, I have a cleaning contract for you. I need you, I need someone to be cleaning this building," right? It doesn't include windows.
Mm.
Right? You need at least a mop bucket and a mop.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I
yeah, of
mean?
course. The
So these are
basics.
the basics. These are the basics that you need. You need I'll say your employees will need a uniform, you know. You kind of want to position yourself, um, or the least what I see some cleaning companies do, even if they don't have a uniform, they have this apron,
High
right?
voice thing.
Yeah, they have this apron, that they wear. Um, yeah, that they were. You know what I mean? But anyway, I think the best will be to speak to somebody who actually has a business, that business and successful at that. The one they should tell you the things you need,
Yeah,
right? To start with. The things you need. Number one, obviously this person I know, by the way, they're in East London, so they're not a competitor of yours. If you go and ask someone that lives in the same locality
yeah.
as you, they're not going to teach you to say, well, you're gonna come and take my business,
Yeah, of course, of
you know.
course.
So that's the thing. So yeah, I mean, it's the equipment and the things you need and how to get contracts. How to get contracts. How to get contract. One of the ways is by approaching landlords. Yeah.
Yeah.
And your next question will be, how do I find these landlords?
That's what I was thinking. Yeah,
How do I find it? Because you're not talking about landlords that own houses. No, landlord that own blocks or
yeah,
flat buildings, Yeah. So that's that's the thing. And obviously, the best person will be someone who's specialized in that business, successful at that. They'll be able to give you all of that, inshallah. So yeah, that's one thing I'll say. Also, one thing I'll do though, I'll also look at other cleaning companies and see what they have in place. You know, what I'll do, right? If I was you, I'll do my research and create my list the things that I think I need in place to start with.
yeah, yeah.
Because then when I sit down with someone who's already doing that business successful, and I'll cross-check with him, you know, at least I'm bringing something on the table. Okay,
And empty-handed.
do I need this? Do I need that? Do I need that? The beginning. Yes, you need this one. You need this. You don't need this one. You don't need this one. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah. I know a website is better to have a website, right? It's better. Um, Website generally just one page website, basic. Do you get what I'm saying? Basic information. It's not something that they can pay on there or whatever. Because sometimes people will ask you, if you approach a landlord, you might say, okay, what's your company again? Right? Yeah, they ask you, what's your company again? You say this company. They may type online the name of the company, thinking it's a website. and then there's nothing come up. Maybe it's just a company registration, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I said, oh, you don't have a website.
It looks more professional with a website, more
This is
serious.
what it is.
Yeah,
This is what it is. And yeah, I think I think that's what it is the appearance, isn't it? Is the
yeah.
appearance. You want to always show yeah. I don't want to say you want to always show that you're some big company, right?
But you're
But
serious. Because even if you're
you're
a small
serious. You know what I'm
company,
saying?
you're
Because
you're serious.
cleaning,
Yeah,
to be honest with you, cleaning is an industry that it's not just about, I mean, these days, this day and age, how things work. Maybe once upon a time, it looks better when you show yourself as some big company, that some big corporation that nobody knows who's behind, some a bunch of these white guys, and just big, this big company, when in reality the guy is sitting in his bedroom
mm,
running the business, right? um
yeah,
those days are gone. I think these days is more of a uh it's more of a personal connection. Yes, if you have a company and you put yourself on the company, people see you on there. I think people more connect and relate than
yeah.
some, you know, big image of,
Name of a
I don't
company.
know, some,
Yeah,
big guys, white guys behind it, running the show. We don't even know, you know. Um, yeah, there's a cleaning company actually, that I know of. These, I think Iraq or something like that. Anyway, yeah, these guys, mashallah, they're making a lot of money. What's the name of it? I think it's called Hello Cleaner. I believe it's called Hello Cleaner. I'll share my screen to show you what I'm talking about. Oh, you can imagine. Okay, I'll just share my screen quickly just to show you what I'm talking about. Um, just give me 1 second. I'll just hope it's the same company I'm talking about. Yeah, give me a second. Let me know you can see my screen, right? Can you see my screen?
no, yeah, no, I can.
So this cleaning company, Hello Cleaner, right? So yeah, they have 2,749 reviews on Trustpilot. Now this company, I know a lot bit about them in terms of their background, because I have a contact who knows them,
Hmm.
right? I have a contact who knows them, and these are, I think, Iraqi guys, basically, right? Iraqi guys. I don't even know if they're born here, but anyway, but you can see how they put themselves on there, right? This is them actually. This is not an image of somebody else. How do I even get rid of this? Uh, yeah, this is them, right? So when you see this, and by the way, don't get it wrong, a lot of their clients are white, and these big companies, both commercial, they do both commercial and domestic, and residential, right? But the point I'm trying to say, they look young, right? And I think that's where a lot of people, connect, because some young guys really trying to make it. Do you see
Yeah,
it? So that's one thing I mean by, yeah, when you put your face out there on your company, it just allows people to connect more,
I
basically.
think it feels a bit more personal, isn't it? When it's
This is the thing. You know, it's a registered company, right? It's a registered company, but obviously they got a registration number there, and the registered company information there. But it shows that the people behind this company is what? These young guys, you know,
Mhm.
these young guys, trying to make history basically. So that's one thing I'll say, you know. I'll kind of like look at some of the competitors out there and see what they've done. But they cover a broad of things. They cover a broad of things. But and again, someone in the industry will be able to advise you where to start. And over time you can slowly start adding more and more services.
Yeah, because I was thinking, while you're doing cleaning, some people might need oven cleaning or like carpet cleaning. So there's other add-ons you can do along the way.
Yeah.
But I
That's
wanna, I wanna, yeah, build the cleaning solid first, and then see what I can add on after.
yeah, so I mean it's an industry where there's different ways in which you can approach it, right? So even estate agents is one of the ways you can get clients because estate agents, I know that's one of the things these guys do, by the way, because obviously I had a meeting um with one of my contacts who um used to work for this company. So estate agent, end of tenancy agreement. So when people are moving house, right? When people move in or when people move out, usually estate agent will have to pay these cleaners to go and clean it to return it back to the state that it was before.
Yeah,
And this is usually often paid by the tenant, you know. So that's one of the ways that they get clients, estate agents. Yeah, but there's different ways. The people in this industry will be able to tell you, right? Oh, actually, they have it here. See, end of tenancy claims, right? Anyway, so that's that. Now, Malik, is there anything you want to discuss other than what we've already discussed, or any questions?
nothing at the moment. But I appreciate this competition. You've made me have a bit more hope, and it seems a bit more realistic. I just need to do my part and get in touch with the right people, do the right due diligence, and yeah.
One thing I'll say, um, and one thing I always say to people, every business works, and every business has the potential to work. Often, what happens with most people, and I've seen many, I've seen a lot. I've seen people that could have had a 1 million pound business and they don't. They're struggling. They're still, surfing around 1,000, 2,000 pound a month business, right? And I've seen people that actually have had a 1 million pound business. What differentiate? And I've seen people that don't even have none. They started something and they don't have none. And the difference between these two parties, or these three parties, is focus, right? When you start this business, yeah, you are going to face challenging, right, in the beginning and whatnot. But every business work, the key is really staying focused on that business and not diverting, you
Mm.
know, not diverted into the next business. While this
What you
business
put in
is
is what
still in
you
a
get out.
premature stage and you're still trying to build it. Because I'll,
Mm.
I'll be I'll be honest with you, if you stay focused on a cleaning business and that's all you're doing, look here for the long term, right? Look here for the long term, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. That's when you start seeing success in this business properly. Because over time, you realize that this business has become something else. But at a
Right.
very early stage, let's say you're making money, 5 grand, 10 grand, and you start to slowly dive into another business without really, because that's not where you're trying to get this business, not 5 grand, 10 grand. You're looking at the bigger vision, you know. You want to go into a different area when the demand comes. The demand is calling you to open a different branch, right? Not you just looking for the demand. Do you
Yeah.
understand? And if you stay focused on this business, yeah, you can take it to £1 million a year. Easy. Just like a friend of mine that said 750K. He's branched into construction, maintenance, and other areas. That's because the demand came to him, you know. So that's one thing I'll say. If you focus and you focus on that one business and not divert, you know,
What does
yeah,
it say? If you try to shoot two rabbits, you'll end up shooting none.
this is the thing.
So yeah, if you're chasing two businesses, then yeah, you'll end up probably with none of them.
None
Or
of
like
them.
they will be
And it
yeah.
happens to a lot of people. I know a person that had a business, a young guy. He had a business. He had a shoe service business, right? Business was making 24K a year, and then he had an investment, and then that business started making about almost 100 grand a year. But then
Mm,
he got too comfortable, and got diverted and tried to do another business while trying to run that business because he had other people working in that business and he wasn't giving much time to it. So he went into a whole complete different new business. And what happened to that first business? It started crashing down. See, he was
mm,
the visionary at the very beginning, and this business hasn't it's taken off, but it's not at the point where you should put into autopilot.
yeah,
You know, you still need to be the pilot until you get to a certain altitude. Then you can do that. But
yeah.
he thought he's got there, right? And this is the problem here. That business went down. Anyway, let's end it there, inshallah.
Wow. Jazakallah khairan for your time.
Wayak, wayak, wayak. Right. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.